owes my family an apology.
After years of staying quiet, holding things together, and trying to keep the peace, Kimmi Scott is finally speaking up, and when she did, she didn't just talk, she brought facts. For a long time, people whispered about her husband Maurice and the possibility that he wasn't being faithful. But those rumors were always brushed off. It was easy to believe everything was fine, their social media looked perfect, and in public, they always smiled. But sometimes silence doesn't mean everything's okay. Sometimes silence is the calm before the storm. And now? That storm has hit, and Kimmi isn't holding back anymore. For years, she stayed classy. She didn't respond to gossip, she didn't make a scene, and she kept her head high, even while battling cancer and going through personal struggles. But now that she's talking, it's clear she was hurting in silence. And she's coming forward not to create drama but to tell the truth.
But I think some of the stuff needs to be addressed. Like all that extra behind the scene talking with your friends and all that, and you can't say it to a person. Yeah, that's like, yeah, you need to say it to them.
What's been revealed so far is that Maurice may have been cheating long before they even got married. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. According to the evidence Kimmi has shared, it looks like there were years of deception, and even worse, the woman involved wasn't a random stranger, it was someone they both knew. Think about that for a moment. Kimmi was out here fighting for her health, trying to build a happy life, and putting love first while the man she trusted may have been betraying her behind the scenes. It's not just about cheating. It's about betrayal, disrespect, and emotional abandonment. When fans first saw Kimmi and Maurice on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, they were called the solid couple. They seemed calm, united, and grounded. But image and reality don't always match. Behind closed doors, things were falling apart slowly. It started small, Maurice staying out late, saying it was for work.
Keep it 100. And before you get on social media, TV, YouTube, talking about what you think you know, maybe reach out to the people that you're about to talk about and ask maybe if it's true or not. Because it can land you in trouble when you speak of people that's not true.
His stories made sense, but something felt off. Then came the late-night phone calls he'd take in another room. Passwords changed. His energy shifted. Kimmi didn't jump to conclusions. She didn't accuse. She watched. She listened. She took mental notes. Eventually, she had enough doubts to start looking for answers. Quietly, she began putting pieces together. And when her gut wouldn't settle, she did what many women have done in similar situations: she hired a private investigator. What came back wasn't just a bad surprise. It was a full confirmation of everything she feared. There were messages, photos, hotel bookings, proof that couldn't be explained away. And when Kimmi finally spoke, she didn't shout. She didn't cry. She calmly laid out the truth for everyone to see. She posted screenshots, dates, and pictures, all clear and impossible to deny. The messages showed deep conversations, flirty nicknames, plans to meet late at night. One photo even showed Maurice and the woman together in a setting that clearly wasn't business.
I think Justin has a point, and sometimes it's hard to hear.
Her eyes are moist too.
When she said, "I'm sorry, I love you," yeah, we thought they had a turning point in St. Thomas. Like by the time we got back, things were very different. Than the energy, Destiny had by the time we got back was different than what we thought we saw while we were there.
People were shocked. Social media lit up. Some said they always suspected something. Others couldn't believe it, not from Maurice. But the support for Kimmi was huge. Fans called her strong, graceful, and brave for not only facing the truth but choosing to share it on her terms. Still, not everyone agreed with how she did it. A few asked, why now? Or why post it publicly? But that question faded once people realized how long Kimmi had been suffering in silence and how much pain she had carried alone. Maurice, at first, said nothing. No denial, no statement. But as the pressure grew, he had to speak. At first, he claimed the messages were out of context and the pictures were old. But Kimmi came back with more receipts. And at that point, Maurice couldn't deny it anymore. He finally admitted the truth: he cheated. He posted a video where he tried to explain himself, saying he was going through emotional stress, depression, and anxiety. He said he felt lost and disconnected and made a mistake. Some people felt sorry for him.
You'll never hear me call somebody and say, hey man, or hey lady, your guy's cheating on you.
I don't disagree. I'm not saying that you would. What I am saying is that you don't sit and be complicit in it as far as finishing out the evening. Because I wouldn't want the person that I'm friends with to think that I think this is okay. Even after the words come out of my mouth, your actions speak louder than words.
I believe that actions speak louder than words as well. And I don't know how many phone calls I've had with Melody and Martell about their situation.
I hear what you're saying, and it doesn't change my opinion.
Yeah, we're at it.
They appreciated the vulnerability. But many others called it manipulation and excuse wrapped in a fake apology. People couldn't understand how a woman like Kimmi, who stood by him during her health battle, supported him through business and family challenges, could be treated this way. And just when it seemed like the dust was starting to settle, new rumors surfaced, but this time, about Kimmi. An anonymous account claimed Kimmi hadn't been as innocent as people thought. At first, no one believed it. But then someone close to the Scotts spoke up, hinting that maybe Kimmi had her own secrets, maybe even an affair of her own. Kimmi didn't respond directly. She didn't confirm or deny. She posted a photo with a caption that said, "What you don't know might break you." That was it. But that line hit hard. Fans read between the lines. They said, "She's been through enough. Let her heal." Others said, "If she did something too, can you blame her?" Because there comes a point where a person can only take so much pain before they break. Soon, people started digging deeper. They rewatched clips of the show. They noticed Kimmi seemed distant in some scenes, emotionally exhausted, even before the cheating rumors came out. It made people wonder, had she been hurting this whole time? And then came the real twist. Kimmi announced she's staying on the show. She's not going to disappear. She's not hiding from the truth. She's taking control of her story and telling it herself. In an emotional sit-down, she talked about healing, truth, and finally choosing herself. She said it's not about pretending everything's okay or brushing things under the rug. It's about being real. About facing the pain and moving through it. And most importantly, helping others who've stayed silent for too long. Now, the conversation isn't just about Kimmi and Maurice. It's about the women watching at home, women who've stayed quiet in their own lives, dealing with betrayal, carrying pain in silence. Kimmi's story is giving them a voice. So, here's the real question. Is this the beginning of healing, or just the next chapter in a storm that isn't over yet? Is Kimmi right to speak out now? Did Maurice's apology feel honest or like damage control? And do you think there's more going on than we've seen so far? So now that everything's out in the open, we have to really sit with what just happened. This isn't just another cheating scandal or reality TV drama. What we just witnessed was a woman reaching her limit and finally choosing truth over appearances. Kimmi Scott spent years carrying herself with dignity, grace, and silence. While the rumors swirled and the blogs whispered, she didn't say a word. Not because she was weak, but because she was stronger than most. She chose peace. She chose her family. She chose to heal in private. But even the strongest people eventually reach a breaking point, and Kimmi hit hers. And what makes this story so powerful isn't just the betrayal itself. It's the way she handled it when it could have broken her. When Kimmi finally laid the truth bare, she did it with poise, calm, and facts. No yelling. No public meltdown. Just receipts. Screenshots, photos, timestamps, evidence that didn't need any spin. She let the truth speak for itself. That kind of strength doesn't come from revenge. That comes from a woman who has been through the fire and come out the other side with nothing left to prove. And let's be real, this wasn't just about Maurice stepping out. It was about what happens when someone you trust builds a world with you and still chooses to tear it down behind closed doors. It's about emotional abandonment. It's about how easy it is to wear matching smiles for the camera while suffering in silence behind the scenes. And more than anything, it's about finally choosing yourself when no one else will. What shook people wasn't just Maurice's cheating, it was the layers behind it. The timing. The lies. The way it was all hidden under the mask of a perfect marriage. And even worse? He tried to explain it away. Claimed he was overwhelmed. Said he felt lost. That he cheated because he was sad, confused, under pressure. Look, we all go through things. We all feel broken sometimes. But cheating is a choice. And blaming your emotional state for hurting someone who stood by your side through cancer, family problems, and everything else? That's not accountability. That's damage control. And yet, somehow, the story didn't stop there. Just as people were rallying around Kimmi, new rumors popped up, this time aimed at her. An anonymous source claimed she had secrets of her own. That maybe she stepped out too. But here's the thing, Kimmi didn't deny it. She didn't confirm it either. She simply posted, "What you don't know might break you." And honestly, that one sentence said more than any press release could. Fans read between the lines. Some said maybe she did make mistakes. Others said, even if she did, look at what she went through. But no matter where you land on that, the one thing that's clear is this: Kimmi is done pretending. She's no longer trying to protect an image. She's not covering up for anyone. She's not sugarcoating her story to make anyone else comfortable. And she's not letting a man who betrayed her rewrite the narrative. Instead, she's stepping up not as a victim, but as a survivor. And maybe that's the most inspiring part of all this. In a world where women are often told to stay quiet, keep the family together, and take the high road, Kimmi did something different. She told her truth. She put herself first. She made it clear that peace isn't found in silence, it's found in honesty. Now, some people are saying she shouldn't have gone public. That it should have been handled privately. But think about it, Maurice's actions weren't private. His betrayal wasn't quiet. And Kimmi's pain? That was never private either. She had to live through it while the world watched. So if she chose to speak out in public, maybe that was her way of taking back control. And she's not running away either. Kimmi announced she's staying on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Not to create drama. Not to drag Maurice. But to tell her side. To speak for herself. To show people what real healing looks like. She talked about emotional exhaustion, the weight of always being the strong one, and how painful it is to try and hold a family together while you're falling apart inside. But she also talked about starting over. About rediscovering herself. About choosing peace that isn't fake peace that's earned.